afternoon. 3 o'clock. What's going to happen today is I'm going to show you a quick demo here, and then I'm going to shut everything down, rearrange all the cameras, and put them in an area of the layout so you can see what I'm doing with the cell tower and how I'm building up the landforms around it. But I thought it would be quicker and easier for you to see if I use this new product on the bench here, and then you'll know roughly what's going on when we go over to the layout itself. So this material, let me just this material is a plastic mesh. It's called Veraform, and it's used in the taxidermy business. I learned about this from watching Adam Savage. He was building a bear head for a costume he was making, and it's extremely light. It has really good rigidity once it's set, and it's set with a heat gun. So I'm just going to demonstrate here how this works in terms of the heat gun. Now, I have this monster heat gun thing, and so I did an experiment already. I've got a piece over there on the layout that I started with. So what I've learned very quickly is, one, that cutting mats don't like heat done much. They kind of bubble up and stuff. So what I've got on my workbench is a piece of parchment paper and a piece of an old damaged cutting mat. Yeah, this one unfortunately got acetone spilled all over it, and that's another thing that cutting boards don't like, acetone. Just keep acetone away from your board, because it'll wreck it in a few seconds. So anyway, about this gun, it's very warm, very hot gun, and so on step one it barely does what it needs to do. But on step 2, it does a wonderful job, and on step 3, it's downright dangerous. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how you can form this. It's not going to take long to do, and then I'll switch off, rearrange all my cameras, and then we will continue on. So here we go. So I'm going to switch so you can actually see the material, and you can see right now that it's, for modeling, it's a pretty rigid structure. What I'm going to do in part 3 of putting the cell tower in place is I'm going to then cover this with plaster gauze bandages that have plaster impregnated into them, and we're going to use those bandages, for lack of a better word, as to help make the forms for the rocks and stuff. But just to give the basic structure underneath that, we're going to use this stuff. Now it's from a company called Douglas and Sturgis. They are in let's see here, Richmond, California. For a yard of this, it cost $43 American, and then it cost almost that much to ship it. So this is not a cheap project, but I just wanted to, as I've said, this whole model layout is experimenting in new materials and new ways to do things, and this is one of them. And so here we go. I'm going to just turn this on to 2 and put my hand in there to find out where that heat is, and then you can see right away that it is not melted, but it is become soft. There it goes. It does have a little bit of an odor to it when it's being softened, but it's not particularly bad odor. There we go. I'm just going to heat the back of this so that it goes over this, because this I can use this piece over on my layout. So now it's formed and it's around the piece of styrofoam I got here. And now I can heat other parts of it. There we go. Now it gets fairly sticky when it's being heated, and I definitely wouldn't recommend touching it because it tends to retain the heat very well for a long time. So you can see that you could easily use this to shape a slope. The other thing to be careful when you're using your heat gun is remember not to touch the tip. That can be extremely painful, as I have found out in the past. So now this is still very, very soft, and as you can see, pretty sticky. So you do have time now where you could shape it and then let it cool. And once it's cool, it'll retain the shape that you put it in, and then you can just, in this case, we'll just be able to lift this off of this block of foam and take it and slide it onto a block of foam that's the same size on the layout. So I have a whack more of this stuff. I bought a yard of it, and so it was 4 feet square. All I did here was cut off a piece about 16 inches off, and I'm going to cut this into individual strips and do that as individual strips rather than trying to do the whole sheet at once, because it's very difficult to control a large area of this stuff. You want to work on it in small batches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the cameras. I'm going to spend probably half an hour to an hour moving every single camera in this place. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras. I'm probably going nuts with these cameras, but in order for you guys to see what's going on, the best way is to have this set up where I'm not constantly moving cameras around and I'm not hand holding cameras. So anyway, we're going to stop right here, and then we will pick this up in a little while for you guys, and some time for me. So anyway, we'll be back right away. So we're back here now. So I'm going to climb up and start in there. You can see the shot you have right now is from outside the layout, and the next shot is from in the layout using the camera on a gimbal. So this is the area that we're working in. You can see there are blocks of foam there. They're there to save on material in terms of not having to worry about filling the whole thing with sculpted mold or plaster or something. So this way it blocks it out. Now this is just the start, and as I said before, there's going to be a third video on the cell tower. I don't understand how one little cell tower can take so much work, but there's so much involved. It's just the way it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to climb up here, and I'm going to switch back to the other camera, because I've got a feeling that once I climb up there, you may not be able to see what's going on. So, here we go. So again, I have my heat gun, and I have the material. I'm going to just, yeah, that's well done. I'm just going to tack that down right there with the teeth in. And we're going to start and give this a shot and see what happens. Like I said before, you've got to be careful with your heat gun. The way they really want you to use this is for you to stick the sheets in a bucket of hot water, and then floor it. But that's not going to work here. So that's why I'm doing it for the heat gun. Again, I'm not going to do all of this on camera. I'll do a lot of it off camera. Just jack it up, I know that I'm gonna start burning the SM foam underneath it. So I'm just going to keep going at this. Like I said before, we're gonna, once this is in place, I'm probably gonna take some carpenter's glue and just spread it around it just to make sure that it stays stuck in place, it doesn't move. There we go. Just heat this to get it sticky against the styrofoam. Like I said, this is just for the shell, and it is. I'm now noticing that there is a little bit of smoke coming off of this, so we're going to have to be very, very careful here. I'm not sure whether it's the foam on burning or the actually the Veraform material. I also have some of that expanding spray foam here as well. Okay. So there you can see the. How it's now shaping along this edge here. It's up and over and down. It's on the ramp. The ramp is the road that leads to the cell tower. I'm now going to work on an area here, and I'm just going to take a piece. And I did remember to bring them. Oh, there they are. I'm just going to cut a piece, a small piece. Here, and cuts very easily with a pair of scissors. I'm using one of these. These are Fisker Pro Power Arc scissors. Very sharp. Very sharp, actually. So, again, I'm going to take a T-pin here and push that down in there, and another T-pin down here. Tack that there, and then we'll go at it one more time, and that'll be it for filming it. I can do the rest off camera. I've got 2 pieces of pre-cut stuff left. So again, very carefully, power setting number 2 on this heat gun, and very carefully So there you have it. So it's not finished. I'm going to have to work up in here a bit, and I'm going to have to transition from the quarry here up and over. So what I'm going to do is probably find some more castings, some more plaster castings of rocks, use them in here, and along with more of this this material. So, I know you can't see me, but that's essentially the process that I'm going to keep doing while, next week we will start with the plaster gauze to work on that. I may do some Sculptamold first. I think I will do some Sculptamold first, and then we'll do the plaster gauze, and hopefully at the end of that we'll have all of the rock forms and the land forms made, and then step 4 will be, of course, painting and weathering and putting in more static grass, and hopefully at the end of that episode, which will make episode 4, I think, on this particular build, the cell tower will go in place, and we'll attach the power lines to the 12-volt bus in the layout, and have a flashing red light at the top of the tower. So anyway, for now, just want to thank you for watching. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing costs you nothing, and I appreciate it. So take care of yourself, be good to each other, and we'll get through all this mess together.